I said to Victor, what's this study about? That's all I know.
She does know.
I'm getting thrown in the deep end and told to swim.
Well, that's what a study is. You're not getting thrown in. We're all doing it together to get something out of it.
No, it was just being funny.
Oh, yeah.
Being funny.
All right.
Laugh.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be put out. You know. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We're here together to do a little study, and we're going to do it together so you guys can see how we work it out, and maybe you can go through the same study and work something else out. But we're just going to be looking for a seed. We want to find the seed that's going to be planted in us in this word. So we have to find what Yahusha's actually saying. So the word we're looking up is madness. So we're going to Strong's. Yeah, expository dictionary or not?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Strong's Concordance.
Strong's Concordance. We're going there, looking in the Hebrew at madness. You haven't got your phones out. Oh, you've got this.
Yeah.
You two are having this.
Yeah.
All right, well, you can use your phone for a dictionary.
Hasn't got a phone.
I've left my phone at home.
It's really simple. There's only 3 words here, so don't have to spend too much time. Do you want to read it to you?
Yeah.
It's only 3 words.
Yes.
Folly, madness, craziness. Furiously madness. That's what it means. Madness means folly, craziness, furiously crazy. Yeah.
Right, so
Folly is the main word.
folly we could look up in Strong's as well. See what folly says. What is folly?
No, folly is a big word.
Looking for the seed of madness. What is the folly?
Silliness. Oh, there's me mate, 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧.
Yeah, we laughed at that. That's a detail.
𝗪𝗧𝗪 referring to properly, fatness, the loin as the seat of the leaf fat, or generally the viscera. Also silliness, trust, confidence, flank, folly, hope, loin. A good sense in trust, bad one, silliness. Wickedness, foolishness, a crime, by extension, punishment, folly, vile, villainy, folly, foolishness, bluster, 𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗴𝗍, folly, frivolity, foolishness.
So we've got the word madness, we're looking for a seed, and folly. So what do you get from that? You're just looking in the spirit, let the spirit move us. So what do you think in the Hebrew understanding folly is?
Foolishness.
Yeah?
To be silly.
When I think of madness myself, looking around today, apart from saying, oh, that's demons, I think of it more of a condition that somebody's in that they can't help. When you look at the Hebrew though, and you see that it's folly, foolishness, stupid, like it's kind of they're not excuses. You're not making excuses. They're the choices.
So choice is A, B?
Behaviour. Instead of blaming demons, which
Well, they'll give you the oomph to do it, but you are listening to folly. What's another way to describe folly?
Well, it's something like silliness.
Think of Oprah Winfrey show. What was she wanting all the time? Gossip, yeah?
Attention.
Yeah.
She's wanting drama, wanting to find everyone's,
Pressure point.
all their different problems and ideas and ways that they're having trouble in their life, and bringing it all out.
And it's drama.
Yeah.
Trouble causing. Stirring up. So what does folly mean to you when you look at that side of it?
Well, making a situation worse, stirring it up rather than being a peacemaker or help.
Bringing it all out, like stirring, bringing everything out to the, to show everyone, who's right, who's wrong, what's this person done, and all that sort of,
Putting fuel on the fire.
Yeah.
So what's Victoria's favourite movies? What does she like best in movies?
Drama? Oh, that's the genre, sorry.
Action.
Oh, action, yeah.
So
Wrong genre.
when you bring Victoria into a salon, what's she seeking?
Action?
And where can you find the action, which is folly?
In communication, in drama,
Yeah.
in did I say communication? Yeah.
When groups
Stirring
of
up
people
stuff.
come together.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're just talking about the salon at the moment.
Oh,
Don't take us off the
Well, the
subject.
clients, they come in with all their own dramas.
That's
and
right.
You can either just let it go in one ear out the other, or you can get involved and
You could repeat it to another client that
Yeah.
knows them.
yeah, totally.
It's folly, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
People wanting action.
Yeah.
And we can look at ourselves and see, am I
Yeah.
wanting action?
Yeah.
Am I seeking that in my daily behaviour? Am I wanting
Stirring
action?
up.
Do I love it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do people feel about it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you hear them all saying
People thrive on it. It's their life. It gives them some
something
excitement.
to talk about.
Well, they love it
Yeah.
more so than love.
Peace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
peace.
They don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Have to take medication for that.
So what's this ringing in you when you look at yourself? When you're looking at madness and folly. Madness is folly.
If you choose to walk that way, inviting all this drama.
I said, what are you seeing in yourself?
If I choose to walk this way and
Have you?
invite that into me,
Have you?
oh, much of the time.
And so?
Yeah, much of the time. Yeah.
All right, well, that's just
Was I
make
not
it
whipping
easy.
myself enough?
You
Sorry.
don't need a story behind it.
Yeah, I'd like to stir up and have action. And
Me too, Victor.
I've done that in the salon and at home and wherever I go, just stirring to get people to react and
Yeah.
to hear what they've got to say, and then pretend that I'm not doing it and duck out the back door and try and be innocent.
Yeah.
How good was I at folly in Seven Hills? You saw me in action.
Yeah, you were right into it when I first met you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and you didn't meet me before we're in the city.
No.
Oh,
Oh, that was folly.
boy, that was folly. You saw that, didn't you?
When I first met you, you were using the word though to try and get reactions.
Yeah, it was a
But that was
different
different.
process.
That was different by then.
Stepping out of that, moving more towards this. So we're looking for a seed. Where do you go to find the seeds?
Scripture.
Yeah. So scriptures, you look up scriptures on madness. Just write that in, scriptures on madness.
19 scriptures about mad.
That's the one we're looking at. 19 scriptures about madness. So I want Therese and Victoria to read the scriptures each. Now while you're doing it, think of the word we're looking at And we're wanting to find the seed, the main understanding in it.
Trying to read them
And
all.
we've got the 𝗪𝗏 in case you want to look at that.
Got that side?
Yep, most relevant, yep.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Yep.
Jeremiah 25, 15, 16. For
Yeah.
thus Yahuah the Elohim of Israel says to me, take this cup of the wine of wrath from my hand and cause all the nations to whom I send you to drink it. They will drink and stagger and go mad because of the sword that I will send among them.
What do you get out of that?
That's what's happening in the world.
Doesn't talk about all wine, does it?
No, it's a cup of wine of wrath. So it's a wine, it's a cup of anger that Yahusha is sending to the nations because of their disobedience.
Yep. And they're going to go mad.
And you drink it, you're involved in it, you'll end up
Staggering.
staggering and be
What word are we looking at?
mad.
And does it mention
It says,
madness?
it says they will drink and stagger and go mad.
There you are.
Because of the sword.
So you can see what madness, or you can see that madness is a behaviour, and what does it look like? The behaviour.
Looks drunk. Yeah,
That's a good point.
Folly, rage,
silly.
all those things we looked up at first.
Deuteronomy?
You know that.
You go, John.
Yahuah will smite you with madness and with blindness and with bewilderment of heart. In Deuteronomy.
Flying in the same way. Jeremiah 50?
A sword against the Chaldeans, declares the Yahuah, and against the inhabitants of Babylon, and against her officials and her wise men. A sword against the oracle priests, and they will become fools. A sword against the mighty men, and they will be shattered. A sword against their horses, and against their chariots, and against all the foreigners who are in the midst of her. They will become women. A sword against her treasures, and they will be plundered.
So they lose their manhood, behave like women.
Yeah.
You're next.
Jeremiah 51 to the one.
Babylon has been a golden cup in the hand of Yahuah, intoxicating all the earth. The nations have drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are going mad.
So it's bringing them to religious anger.
Yeah. Why have they gone mad?
Well, their idolatry. From the cup of the whore, cup of the Babylonian.
They're not following the truth, so the sin in them is just taking them.
It's good to face that it's madness, and it looks like drunken. It literally it's getting worse and worse. You think, what's wrong with them? They can't even walk properly, or they've got weird tics and like.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Well, they call it mental health.
Yeah.
They're, people are having a lot of mental problems, and that's what the madness is sending them into, a mental health.
People used to be able to hide it better. Now they can't.
Now it's labelled.
So you don't have to hide it.
Well, they don't want them in Callum Park or an institution. They want them out in houses in the communities and let them loose on the community.
Yeah.
With medication.
Doesn't work.
Go to Zechariah 12.
Is that the next one?
No, and the one before that's really long.
Oh, well, let's do it.
Let's do it, says Christopher.
You're not getting away with it.
It's just all about Nebuchadnezzar.
That's quite all right.
That's fine, let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can do that one.
Come on.
All this happened to
Nebuchadnezzar, the
the
king.
king. 12 months later, He was walking on the roof of the royal palace of Babylon. The king reflected and said, "This is not Babylon the Great, which I myself have built as a royal residence."
Is this not Babylon the Great, does it say?
Is this not?
Yeah, is this not Babylon the Great, which I have built as the royal residence by the might of my power and the glory of my majesty?
So, what's he doing? Who makes kings?
Yahuah.
Yahuah.
And so, who's he declaring is it and has done it?
Himself.
Himself.
Well, that is type of.
Madness.
So when you look at madness and you see that behaviour, how would you explain it in today's language?
The ego, self,
Egotistical.
Yep.
society of the selfie.
So that continues on. While the word was in the king's mouth, a voice came from the heavens saying, "King
ꞋNebuchadnezzar.
to you it is declared, sovereignty has been removed from you, and you will be driven away from mankind, and your dwelling place will be with the beast of the fields. You will be given grass to eat like cattle, and 7 periods of time will pass over
7 years.
you until you recognize that the Most High is the ruler over the realm of mankind and bestows it on whomever he wishes." Immediately the word concerning
Nebuchadnezzar.
was fulfilled, and he was driven away from mankind and began eating grass like cattle, and his body was drenched with the dew of heaven until his hair had grown like eagle's feathers and his nails like bird's claws. But at the end of the period, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes towards the heaven, and my reason returned to me, and I blessed the Most High and praised and honoured him who lives forever. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom endures from generation to generation.
So what lesson do we get out of that?
If you want to lift yourself up in your ego, be like that, you go mad. Look how far you went. You became like an animal.
Well, actually, the
Rolling around.
lesson that I get from that is, if you do that, Yahuah or Yahusha will actually put his foot down and throw you out with the beasts.
You behave like one.
Yeah.
He struck him down, cursed him
That's
to the
it.
ground.
So we're looking at madness in
Society.
People.
Everybody.
men. Madness in men, meaning men and women.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So if they're left to their own devices and they sprout off, there's going to be something, isn't there? There's going to be some sort of consequence. Being that arrogant
Yeah.
in Yahuwah's face.
Totally.
Next one.
Zechariah 12. In that day, declares Yahuah, I will strike every horse with bewilderment and his rider with madness. But I will watch over the house of Judah while I strike every horse of the peoples with blindness.
Who's the madness putter?
Yahuah.
He puts madness on
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
He's in control of everything now.
And
He's dishing out wrath in the form of madness.
everything and everyone.
Yeah. Totally.
Like you said, he's not going to let you get away with anything. This is the sort of judgment that's going to come on the assemblies.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it already happening. It's pretty hard to have a lucid conversation with one of them without this madness coming out of them. Yeah. Nuts.
And folly. So you've got to watch people that do folly.
Yeah.
Golly. Next one.
Proverbs 26.
Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death.
So imagine a madman in having that power, just killing people. That's a B.
Haven.
Yeah. So you can see behaviour. What's Yahusha saying to us
Be very
about that
careful.
fact?
Be very careful.
Don't get into it. Don't go enter into that because there's a
You mean folly
judgment. Yeah.
that you loved?
Yes, I did. Thought that was excitement.
Well, people love it so much they won't give it up. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing can sway them to stop it because they love it.
Yeah.
And it's something that no one knows. And they're doing it sneakily, but everyone can see because it's a B.
The haven. Yeah. Totally.
2 Peter 2, but he received a rebuke for his own transgression, for a mute donkey, speaking with the voice of a man, restrained the madness of a prophet.
So what does that mean?
The donkey spoke and told off the prophet, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't change his path, his direction. He was going to do something wrong that Yahuah didn't want. And so the donkey
Rebuked him.
told him,
So how about that, being in a circumstance like that, being a prophet, and you know it's just between you and Yahusha, and then the donkey talks to you.
How would you feel?
You'd freak out, wouldn't you? Think, wow,
Definitely go
this
mad.
is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah?
John 10.
Division occurs again among the Jews because of these words. Many of them were saying, he has a demon and is insane. Why do you listen to him? Others were saying, these are not the sayings of one demon possessed. A demon cannot open the eyes of the blind, can he?
Question mark. So isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
They called Yahusha insane, and he had a demon.
Yeah.
How
Wicked.
far it goes.
So it's going to happen to you if you're going to follow Yahusha. You're going to be called this.
Yeah.
But it's from an insane society. Go on, next one.
2 Kings. Now Elisha the prophet called one of the sons of the prophets and said to him, gird up your loins and take this flask of oil in your hand and go to the Rammon Gilead. When you arrive there, search out Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, and go in and bid him arise from among the brothers, and bring him to an inner room. Then take a flask of oil and pour it on his head and say, thus says the Yahuah, I have anointed you king over Israel. Then open the door and flee and do not wait. So the young man, the servant of the prophet, went to Rammon Gilead. When he came, behold, the captains of the army were sitting, and he said, I have a word for you, O captain. And Jehu said, for which one of us? And he said, for you, O captain. He arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head and said to him, thus says Yahuah, the Elohim of Yisrael, I have anointed you king over the house of Yahuah, even over Yisrael. You shall strike the house of Ahab and your master, then that I may avenge the blood of my servants, the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of Yahuah at the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish. I will cut off from Ahab every male person, both bond and free, in Israel. I shall make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam, the house of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah. The dogs shall eat Jezebel in the territory of Jezreel, and none shall bury her. Then he opened the door and fled. Now Jehu came out of the servants of the master and one said to him, Is all well? Why did the mad fellow come to you? And he said to them, You know very well the man and his talk.
So what do you get out of that?
They just called the guy that's come with the message a madman. This is what the world's going to say about us. You've got a message.
Yep. Next one.
Jeremiah 29.
Thus the Elohim of hosts and Elohim of Yisrael, because you have sent letters in your own name to all the people who are in Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah and the son of, I can't even say these words.
Tell it, boss.
Barzillai,
There you go. The priest, and to all the priests, saying, Yahuah has made you priests instead of
Jehoiada,
the priest, to be the overseer in the house of Yahuah over every madman who prophesies, to put him in the stocks and in the iron collar. Now then, why have you not rebuked Jeremiah of Anathoth, who prophesies to you? For he has sent us in Babylon, saying, The exile will be long, build houses and live in them, and plant gardens and eat their produce.
Okay, what do you get out of that?
The prophets, he sent, Yahuah sent overseers to the house where there were mad people were mad, and so he wanted them to,
Thanks, Don. What do you get out of that?
it was difficult.
Apparently this guy's in charge.
Sounds like it.
Apparently this guy's in charge of telling people off for dealing with the mad people, and then this prophet comes in and tells them about their scattering and captivity, and he's like, why didn't you tell him off? What he just said is insane. We're not going to be captured and all this, that. So if you're a prophet and you've got something to say, you're going to be called a mad person. They didn't want to believe it. Scattering's going to be long. The exile will be long. Build houses and live in them. They're not even worried. Don't even listen to him. He's mad.
You think he's right?
Why didn't you shut prophets off his face? Why didn't you call him a mad person and get rid of him?
They're calling the prophets mad. The days of punishment have come, the days of retribution have come. Let Yisrael know this: the prophet is a fool, the inspired man is demented. Because of the grossness of your iniquity and because of your hostility is so great, Ephraim was a watchman with my Elohim, a prophet. Yet the snare of a bird catcher is in all his ways, and there is only hostility in the house of Yahuah.
So what do you see in that?
Again, they're saying the prophets are foolish and demented.
And how can you switch it over to you today? To you two girls?
But today people are going to call us foolish and mad because what we believe. We believe in Yahuah, that he's coming again. They just say, oh, you're crazy, you're mad, you're just a religious nut.
Interesting, they're saying the message of your Elohim is insane because of your iniquity. And he's talking to Ephraim, all the scattered ones.
Well, their iniquity, their folly, their madness,
Yeah.
and they translate it back onto the prophet's madness.
So if you have this kind of mad behaviour, anything you have to say will be mad.
And yet their behaviour isn't considered mad.
No.
And yet it's totally against Yahuah, Yahuah's laws. They're breaking the laws and bringing madness in.
Yep.
Next one.
Well, when the Pharisees heard this, they said, "This man casts out demons only by 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, the ruler of demons."
Same as the one up there, calling Yahusha a demon.
Well, but that's a bit different there. Casts them out by who? They're accusing Yahusha of being in contact with
Demons.
the head of the ruler of the demons.
Satan.
And he casts them out through that power. And they're making excuse for the fact that he can cast out
In his own
demons
Yeah.
in his own power. Is that what you said? Yeah. So they're obviously not letting him have it, are they?
No, big time.
So they lie. Says that he's working with the demons because they didn't want to face who he really was, the Messiah who came to do all those things. Next one.
Matthew. And he came home, and the crowd gathered again to such an extent that they could not even eat a meal. When his own people heard of this, they went out to take custody of him, and they were saying, "He has lost his senses." The scribes who came down from Jerusalem were saying, "He is possessed by 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, and he cast out the demons by the ruler of demons."
It's a little thing they thought up. They thought they were clever, lying to everybody about Yahusha. And yet he's actually casting demons out of people. They're leaving them and people are becoming normal because they've been delivered from the power of the evil. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, go on, next one.
Next one is basically the same thing, but some said he casts out demons by 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, the ruler of demons.
Yeah. Next one.
Acts 26. While Paul was saying this in his defense, Festus said in a loud voice, "Paul, you are out of your mind. Your great learning is driving you mad." But Paul said, "I am not out of my mind, most excellent Festus, but I utter words of sober truth."
Good comeback.
Accusation.
There's it happening again.
Yeah.
So constantly you're being accused of madness, but they're the mad ones.
Yeah.
Go on, next one.
2 Corinthians 5. For if we are beside ourselves, it is for Yahuah. If we are of sound mind, it is for you.
What does that mean, Therese?
Beside yourself basically means that you're being silly, mad,
Exasperated?
yeah, anxious, all of those sorts of things. But if we're of sound mind, we'll be fine.
Read it again.
It says, for if we are beside ourselves, it is for Yahuah.
So what does that mean?
That we're basically
We're out of our mind for we're
our
mad.
Creator.
They're saying they're mad, so they're saying they're out of their mind for Yahuah.
Yeah.
For Yahusha.
Yep.
And the next one?
And then it says, if we are of sound mind, it is for you.
And who's that for?
The scoffers.
When we talk to you, we're of sound mind.
Yeah.
When we're beside ourselves overwhelmed, it's because of him. But when
Yeah.
we talk to you, we're not being crazy.
No.
We're talking sensibly.
We're of sound mind to you or for you?
It is for you.
So what does that mean?
We have to become of sound mind so you'll understand.
What are they being to those people?
A
A
witness
There you are.
of the power and amazingness of Yahushua.
That's it. They're always being disputed against. The truth is always disputed against through the enemy. You want to say anything so far? Next one.
A psalm of David when he feigned madness before Abimelech, who drove him away, and he departed. I will bless Yahuah at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth.
And there was one point where David faked being a crazy man to get out of a situation, I think. I forget it now, but
So what's the point in that one?
He feigned madness.
Yeah.
He was pretending to be mad so that they'd leave him alone.
And so if you show madness, people leave you alone.
Yeah, I love it.
Go on, next one.
1 Samuel 21. When David arose and fled that day from Saul and went to Achish, king of Gath, but the servants of Achish said to him, this is not David, the king of...
is this not David, king of the land? Did they not sing of this one as they danced, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. David took these words to heart and greatly feared Achish, king of Gath. So he disguised his sanity before them and acted insanely, and scribbled on the doors of the gate and let his saliva run down his beard. And Achish said to this servant, behold, you see the man behaving as a madman. Why'd you bring him to me? Do I lack madmen or something, that you had brought this one to act as a madman in my presence? Shall this one come into my house? David's good at acting like a madman. Get out of the situation.
Yeah, Yahushua always opens a back door, doesn't he? Okay, next one.
That's it.
That's it.
No, there was another one.
That was all.
That's it.
That was 19.
Proverbs. Yeah.
Done the proverb.
That's it. No?
In the 19.
Yeah.
Did the Proverbs.
No.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it. Oh, what's this explanation down there? In all that is done. What is this? Ecclesiastes 9, verse 3. This is an evil in all that is done under the sun. There is one event to all. Truly the hearts of the sons of men are filled with evil, and madness is in their hearts while they live, and then to death. But for him who is joined to all the living there is trust, for a living dog is better than a dead lion.
Now we're going off it now. Ecclesiastes 9:3. So what does that tell you? You read it out again, Marky? You got it there?
Yep.
There is an evil in all that is done under the sun. There is one event to all. Truly the hearts of the sons of men are filled with evil, and madness is in their hearts while they live, and then they die.
Is that what it says on yours, Victor? Or is it
pretty
a bit
much.
different?
Similar.
Read it out.
This is an evil in all that is done under the sun, that the same event happens to all. Also, the hearts of the children of man are full of evil, and madness is in their hearts while they live, and after that they go to the dead. So that's in the heart of man, unrepentant, That's in humanity.
Pretty much
we're
from the
born
time
with.
you're a child.
You're born, you're crazy, you're dead.
Mm.
Pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Well, don't you see it in the older people
Yeah.
going crazy?
Unless there's some divine intervention.
Can't
Yeah.
keep it together.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
That's the state of the whole world.
What?
That's the state of the whole world.
Yeah, but have you really faced
No.
that?
No. They still take their
You're
behaviour
just being a
personally.
wise man, are you?
Yeah, sure. No, I'd still take their behaviour personally. I don't face that this is the state. You shouldn't take any of it seriously. Protect yourself.
So remember the one we looked at, he was going to send the wine and what Babylon's done to the world,
Mm-hmm.
teachings from Babylon,
Yeah.
what they've done to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So every child that's born, what?
Is they get fed that
Full of
wine,
evil.
Full of evil.
And madness,
Madness.
in their hearts.
some form or another. They're given that wine.
So if they don't repent and face that, they're just not. They're just going to continue in madness and evil in their life, trouble.
Folly,
Mm,
wanting drama and stuff,
yeah.
stirring people up.
That's what surrounds us all day, every day, and that's what's trying to get its claws in our children all day, every day as well. That's the fight. Those of them who have been immersed, they're trying to come out of that madness.
So through all that, what is the seed you guys have discovered?
That,
Of the main meaning of the word madness.
when you look at things through Yahusha's eyes, it's very simple. There's no labels, there's no excuses, it's just one thing. You're either in or you're out. You're either being delivered or you're mad. You either repent
Well, we're
or
just
you're mad.
looking at
Mad.
the other word, yeah,
The
mad.
whole world is mad.
That's
You
right.
should face it. It's all the same madness, just different colours of it. It's just mad.
Surprising the fact that you brought up the difference between the two. You're either mad or
You're not
Delivered.
delivered. Yeah.
delivered.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah?
in saying that, there's also those who have been immersed that are mad as well, if you look at their behaviour.
Of course, because the world is mad and they're
So-
not interested in the world.
It's not just about whether you're immersed or not.
So what do you deduct from that behaviour in your face? What do you deduct from that behaviour
What a
in
question.
your mush?
Deduct it.
What do I get from it, basically?
Bim, 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 bim.
Make it small and precise.
Surprise.
Just break it down.
What do I get from that? Basically, looking at the behaviours of people, you can see whether they are mad or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is about, is whether they're choosing to behave,
So that's in your face. What should your behaviour be?
to let them have it.
So you're using one of the three rules.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not take their behaviour personal.
that's another rule.
Yeah.
If the whole world is in this state, then we recognise.
Wow, that's about
If the whole world is in this state, then we recognise what Yahusha came for. It wasn't just to heal sicknesses and die for us, it was to actually deliver us from that state.
That's it.
A state which was not caused by, but encouraged by demons. Satan wants the whole world in that state. Yahusha wants us to be delivered from it. So instead of just saying, "Oh, are you saved?" or "We're saved," we're this, and like it's a culture club. No, there's a deliverance there. You actually got to be pulled out of that evil that's wrapped around you, that's controlling you and sending you mad.
This is why people need to go through the narrow gate and up the path and practice the 3 rules to get through the deliverance so that your flesh isn't controlling you.
Yeah.
And then gifts come. But he's not going to let that happen until people go there. But at the moment, you talk about the Nazarene Messianic movement. Who's dominating that?
Teachers. Religion. It's a better word. Religion.
Yeah.
So even though they accept Yahuah and they've been
Immersed into his name, unless they're genuine,
and they continue on to become delivered. You have to be delivered from the evil, from the sin. And the sin that is in the flesh, it's in our...
Unless you get delivered, what do you see?
You can't see anything in that book.
Yeah, but have you guys are sitting here and going through all this, but in yourself, do you really face it when you're confronted with people?
No.
Why not? Why won't you go there? What's your reason you won't believe that and say, right, everyone's born with madness unless you get it delivered out of you and change your behaviour, you're not in that state of mind. You know, you'll be mad if you don't get delivered.
I've started to face that most people in front of me are insane, but my behaviour has still been angry at it instead of understanding it, either removing myself from it or loving
angry?
I don't want to be convinced by this insanity. Oh, please. Oh my goodness.
What's the way you should look at it?
You've got to love them, understand them.
But they're like
If they're if they're a client or whatever, like, you're just doing it for a reason. But in public,
How should you feel for them?
sorry for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you allowed yourself that luxury to actually face that you're in a place to do that? That's what you're chosen for. That's what you're supposed to be used for by Yahusha, to understand and show his mercy in your behaviour towards them. Have you allowed yourself that luxury to be in that place that you can see?
No.
Why not?
I've been too focused on myself and selfish of my own time.
I don't know about that, Mark. You do a lot of stuff for Yahusha, so I don't think you're selfish and you're supporting your family and you're running a business
Yeah, I don't want to be
together.
Don't want to be dealing with insanity, thanks. I've got better things to do.
Yeah, but you have to, don't you?
Well, yeah, in my own home.
You're protecting yourself more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think, you know, why can't you make the step out of that to realise I'm chosen for this purpose?
Yeah.
To show mercy, to show compassion.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
don't you put yourself there? Or why wouldn't you?
I don't like feeling helpless in situations, and I read all these great stories in this book of people just going, get lost, get out, all this stuff. Not just you, all these followers, and I just go, what am I going to go? Put up with it? Like, there's no power in here to get rid of that demon.
But there is.
I feel helpless when confronted by that. I live with
Oh, you
demons
mean
all over
if-
day.
That's
it's
not
a
true because
person.
I've seen you do it.
Oh, please.
You did it to Pina.
My children are mad.
You did it to Pina.
Well, do you understand why your children are
I
mad?
raised them in madness.
No,
Yeah.
they're born in
Well, they're
with the
born.
sin.
Yeah, but you passed it on.
I borned them.
We all passed it on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a way out, isn't there?
I'm thinking too religious, like there's massive healing. It probably takes time, doesn't it, for the healing to happen?
Of course it does.
With who?
Well, if someone's mad or has crazy behaviour, they don't
Yeah.
just. It's not
Well,
like what they.
Well,
It's
around
not
the
an altar
Yahusha
call.
they did, and the apostles they did. They
yeah.
just banned.
They
Out
did.
you go. The demons left,
Yeah.
went.
Well, I don't feel.
We're
that.
not in that. Somebody might have that gift,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
that can arise, that can manifest. But you need to come to a place, brothers and sisters, all of you, that you can actually realise you're chosen to show mercy to a mad world. What else is there really to do? Excite yourself? How long does the excitement last? You know? How long does your folly last? You know? Like a daily saga on television. It goes on and on and on and on. You can live like that, but are you happy? None of them are happy.
No.
You know? So if you take it upon yourself, use the 3 rules, that'll cut all Satan's ways away from you. All those strings will be cut and you can go on ahead and run the race and pass the test for Yahusha.
Yeah.
So we can see in the abstract, and we can see the seed that Yahusha wanted us to realise. What's that?
You're being sent out as sheep among wolves. You're being sent out as delivered people on the process of, and you're confronted with this daily.
About madness, what understanding is the seed to show you what's going on in the world? What's the understanding?
What it is.
Ecclesiastes 9:3.
You're born, you're mad, you're dead. Everybody's in that state.
And what's the state? What's the word we looked up?
Madness. It's
Oh,
mad.
Now, if anyone is born in this world, they're born with Satan's seed in them, madness, and they need to be delivered from it. And the deliverance is a process,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a working of the word. But can't people come to a consciousness using the 3 rules to actually say, well, if you were of a sound state of mind, you would love me. You wouldn't behave like you are. You wouldn't do what you're doing towards me. So we can straight away have our armour on and understand I'm dealing with genuinely madness. And what's madness called? The behaviour of it. Besides folly, what is folly?
Silliness, foolishness.
It's a choice.
There was a word in there that started with V.
Violence.
No.
That's one thing.
I can't think of it.
Someone's a criminal. They're called a
Villain.
V. Yeah. Villainry. So that's what you're going to get from that.
Okay.
And we need to be delivered from that. And you can see the results of Yahusha's deliverance. And yet they lie about it and say no. That's what you're up against. Brothers and sisters, that's what you're up against.
Yeah.
Very true.
And no one was a greater healer than Yahusha, and yet they still wouldn't face it, and they called him son of a demon, and you're using the power of a demon. So even if there was that gift among us, what's it going to be accused of?
Yeah. So in summary, we've got 3 summaries to have.
That you're born, everyone is born into this world with the sin of madness and
The seed's put in
The
us
seed.
by,
Satan.
right, same as he planted the weeds in amongst the wheat. So he's planted that seed in Eve and Adam, and it's come through to us. So if we don't want it, we look at the older people who are losing their minds, you know, with all these diseases going off their face, their disposition shot. They go into madness as they get older. Right?
Yeah,
So I can see that in the world now. I can see how it's gone, and I know that when people get older, it's more evident because it comes out more.
Yeah, sorry. Right.
And you either stay in the world and then you live in that madness and that insanity and then you die, or else you get to be chosen by Yahusha and get delivered, because that deliverance is a total change in your heart, in your personality, and everything. You can see in your behaviour the difference, how people are. You can see that difference, and that's so important to recognise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly eye-opening, that's for sure, because you don't look at it this way. You don't see it as, oh, we're all born with the madness in us, and the only way to get free of it is to be immersed and delivered. So we've all got to face that fact, that we were all, as children, born into madness, and as we've gotten older, become immersed and following what Yahusha wants us to do, we are overcoming that.
When you're where you are now and you look back, can you see the madness you've been in?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
can you see the madness everyone around you's in?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see the difference between, and that's called deliverance, being delivered from all that.
Yahusha showing me the direction. We're not just called to play church and play music and do funky words here and there. We're actually, if people come into Yahusha's presence, all sorts of madness is going to manifest.
Your words are either
Life or death. And I've actually heard a demon sit on my shoulder, and when I'm confronted with people, children, clients, it'll say to me, oh, here we go. What's this
is at the
insanity?
Victoria too.
Yeah.
What's
here we
this
go.
insanity going to be? You know, like, and that immediately sets you up to take offence, to be frustrated, to be in a hurry, whereas you can just get rid of that and have compassion.
How many times have you heard that, mate?
My whole life.
So, how long are you going to believe that that's not you?
It's not me.
Yeah, I know, but how long is it going to take for you to see
I believe it.
it's not you, and you're separate from that thought? Oh, here we go again, and you just take it on every time. Because if you accept it, you're a slave to it, aren't you? And you just get used. And it's taking your time in your life. They want to control the day of your life every day, so you're in a state where you're not happy, you're not delivered, you're not free, because you're not believing that's a demon. You think it's you, and that's what they tell us. No, this is you. You're thinking this. Just with a lie like that, everyone's controlled by it. Accepting the lies. So is this message to you imperative?
It is to everybody.
Yeah, it's very important.
Well, how can you all be so lax and not think of it as imperative that your behaviour to show love, to show sympathy, understanding, how can you believe it's not imperative? You're just going on in your day. Where are you?
I've been mad.
You can have all the excuses for yourself, but when you think of everything, a reason for your behaviour, what is it?
The choice.
Which rule is it?
Making excuses.
Okay, so that's how great the three rules are. Every excuse you have is just an
Why?
So why won't you go and do? Why won't you say? Well, you don't have to tell everyone off because they're mad, because they'll just say you're mad to you.
But to face it inside yourself, that's
And the opposite behaviour to them is
love.
loving kindness.
Yeah.
They can't give it. It's not in them because they're, but they do respond to it.
Yes.
But when you get the flow, you've got to make it genuine so they can feel Him. Why haven't you thought of yourselves as a vessel like that Yahusha wants to use? Why have you just discarded yourself and just being used to walk around in a dream every day? Emotions and feelings, it's just flowing through you, and they're going, we've ruined his day, we've ruined her day. We're living our lives through them. Instead of them being free and aware of us and tell us to go, we have to go when they say it. Because Yahusha said, resist the devil and he flees.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it?
I didn't know it like this. You got to fight.
Where have you been?
In La La Land.
Wow. So what do you think now from what you were thinking to now? What do you think now?
I have power over demons.
Yep.
Yeah. I say it.
But you said that with your 𝗬𝗢𝗎𝗍𝗍𝗔𝗐𝗎.
Oh, it was too quick.
Master Park.
I didn't get it.
𝗬𝗢𝗎𝗍𝗍𝗧.
Eyes down.
You said it
Yeah.
with your eyes down.
Well, I can say it with my eyes up now.
Good.
Yes. Forgot what I said.
You have power over demons.
I have power over demons. Power over demons. Yeah. The power in me is stronger than the power in the world.
I think I haven't accepted the position I have in being able to do that, and that's not believing, not having, just not.
Well, it's just a lump you're walking around in.
I know.
You're just inside a
Big lump.
lump. Just like a gorilla dragging itself around. Just a lump.
Well,
Going nowhere, having a swing in a tree, eating a banana.
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Just a
It's a
lump.
waste of time.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's time to pick up
Yeah.
and make it, brothers and sisters, imperative
It
that
is.
your life is being used. Don't listen to religious carpetbaggers. They'll have you running up here and running up there and going building a sukkah here and worship the shadows. And that's just going back into religion. That's not going through the narrow gate and up the path. It's just coming back and going into the Jewish religion. Because they don't want to give up, the leaders of the Nazarene Messianic movement don't want to give up the power of the money they're making and the reputation. Anyone can come in and do that and preach, but who wants that? You want the real thing where you're understanding the madness that's in the world and you want to love. You want Yahusha to use your vessel to show love.
What do you do?
Eh?
Powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything you want to share with the brothers and sisters?
No, I think that's perfect.
Guys, it was lovely to have you. We love you. Don't be afraid. You've got power over the devil and his horde. We love you. Good night.
I love you.
Give me